A shakeup at the TSA as tensions grow over those long airport security lines. Head of security Kelly Hogan has been removed after a hearing over the agency's management. House lawmakers outraged over a $92,000 bonus package he got, despite systemic security screening failures. The former head of security operations at Los Angeles International Airport and JFK will replace Hogan. The agency is also adding a new group of administrators at Chicago O'Hare Airport, where wait times have caused thousands to miss their flights. And it will establish a national command center at TSA headquarters. But critics say these changes are just cosmetic and won't actually change anything. Mike, what do you think about this? Are these just cosmetic changes? I mean, they're talking about the command center. They're talking about reducing the size and number of carry-ons as if that's suddenly going to fix everything. What do you think of these changes?
I mean, a couple of things here. First of all, TSA has a and this is not, defending them in some of their problems, but they have a thankless job, right? The security angle is such that when nothing happens, it's not like they get thanked. Hey, thanks for not having any problems.
The head of the TSA got a $90,000
I know, but you know what I mean,
bonus.
from a general perspective, from the population out there. And when something goes wrong, of course, they kick in the backside. But that doesn't defend the problems that they're having. Is it cosmetic? Yes, of course. It's just like the VA, changing the head of the VA. What does that get us? It doesn't get us anything. Look, you need to increase the budget. There's only a couple of ways to deal with this, right? We have to go through the screening process. We have to pay more for technology that will allow it to move faster.
No, don't go with increasing the budget.
Yeah.
It drives me crazy that every time there's a problem like this, and as soon as we saw the 3-hour waits, they said, we need more money because there's more people flying. What they need is more efficiency.
Well, they need more efficiency.
You need somebody who knows what they're doing to get in there and change the way that it's done so that they can work faster and more effectively, not more money.
But more efficiency means better technology across the board, not just at 1 or 2 airports, but across the board, and that unfortunately costs money.
What does a guy like Mike Baker think about privatizing the security at airports?
I'm big on it. I think it's a great idea.
Why isn't it happening? Why is this so slow to come about?
Well, the honest-to-God answer is I don't have a clue how to answer that question. I think you need to know your limitations and minor understanding the meanderings of the federal government. But
no one understands that.
Shrink the government, absolutely, and TSA should be in there. They should privatize this operation because it naturally, I think it will. This is my belief anyway. I'm sure people disagree, but it will be more efficient.
As far as the summer's concerned and all the travelers out there and the economy is a little bit better, people have a little extra money, they're planning on traveling. We're expecting record numbers. We've been talking about that on the Fox Business Network. Here's what the TSA is saying about that. Expect those wait times. Yes, we're reviewing who's at work here in our policies, but expect those wait times and manage expectations. I don't know, Harris. To me, that sounds like they've got a lot of problems that aren't going away anytime soon.
All right, so I want to go back to something you just said, though, in terms of somebody who got a bonus. Tell us.
That was the $90,000 bonus package that Hogan received. Kelly Hogan, who's just been asked to step aside.
How is that possible if this is the job that has been?
Well, that happens.
It's the federal government.
The government.
It's the federal government.
That's why.
That's not a shocker.
Look at everywhere you look. I mean, I love when people talk about Obamacare and they say, let's give the government more responsibility. You can look at every area of government, the post office. I mean, anyone want to take a trip to the DMV for fun? I mean, no. Look at this now. Look at the TSA. It's overstuffed bureaucracy. And I think, Melissa, you're 100% right. This notion that just because you can hire more people, let's say they hire hundreds of inefficient people, or the system is broken, or whatever, something internally is broken, that's not going to fix anything. I think the argument for privatization is that we can do it better because look what the government does all the time.
But, even with the pre-check, because, Melissa, you and I have talked about this, for the average flyer, when you add in the baggage fees and everything else, I mean, who's got an extra couple $100 or maybe several hundred so that their family can go through the shorter line? And by the way, after having flown here recently, you get in the pre-check line and they shut it down because they need those guys at the regular. And now you're back in with everybody else, even though you spent all that money. What are they doing?
Well, you know what they did with
the pre-check over here complaining.
What are they doing with
the pre-check was used shortly after pre-check. There was some magic pre-check at the very beginning. But no, they got to go back to where it is right now, because at the beginning of pre-check, when you would go through it, when they started to do this, it was great. You would go through. But then what they realized was, hey, we can take all those people in the regular security line and push them into pre-check. So they did that until then we had some attacks overseas, and they said we got to tighten up, move those people back to the regular security line and close pre-check.
This is why I don't.
Well, they got to make it better for everybody. That way you don't have a special line.
You can hop on Superman's back and get there like I do.
I have a cape.